I should've got killed. Only a Pimp C, I thought it was true. When I smoked that tree, I thought it was heat. I was so empty, I thought it was filled. The light that I lived, I thought it was real. Rapping all them demonic verses out of my mouth, I spoke some curses. But now I'm blessed as Christ is worthy, and he get all the praise. They looking for that old Slim, they say this all a fake. But I ain't going back and I ain't looking back either. Blessed and highly favored to be called God people. Blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. And you know I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. Blessed and I'm highly favored. Blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. And you know I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. God got his hands on me. Amen. God got his hands on me. Amen. God got his hands on me. Amen. God got his hands on me.
If you feel good, just clap. Clap, clap. Y'all ready? One, two, three,
You've been so good to me. You never let me fall. You've done so much for me. I just can't tell.
You've been so good.
You've been so good to me. You never let
You've
me
done so
fall.
much.
You've done so much for me. I just can't tell it
Said you
all.
woke me up this morning. And you started me on my way. Yeah. Put food on my table. You helped me see another day. Say you've been so.
Welcome back to another episode of the From Scratch podcast. We are your hosts, Kenneth Cunningham, and
Apostle Johnathan Brown, what's up, fam?
I'm Usher Kenneth Cunningham. This is Archapostle Johnathan Brown. I serve on his usher board at his church, if y'all didn't know that.
Oh, man.
Hey, man, I serve virtually. I be virtually ushering from my phone.
Oh, no, man.
And y'all be having some church in Cleveland,
The
bro.
way you preaching, ain't no way you going to be my usher.
Man, y'all be having some church in Cleveland, man. I'm telling you. I would be an usher for real. If I moved to Cleveland, if God relocated me, I'd come and be an usher. I'll be the best usher y'all ever had.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, man, this past Sunday was crazy. I couldn't even preach.
For real.
It was one of those Sundays, man, that it was powerful. I could not preach. I tried 3 times. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put it down. And, okay, Holy Ghost, have your way. So it was really a powerful time.
Good on Sunday. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
We had a good time Sunday, too. Apostle Whedon came and blessed us at 1:30. It was really good.
Awesome.
And Sunday, 9:30, man, I preached about faulty foundations.
Ooh, man.
I was trying to tell the saints, I said, I know I ain't going to get through all this today. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, well, make it a series, Apostle. So I think it might turn into that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Definitely.
and that's another thing, man. You know, preaching, we can't never finish no real good sermon in 30, 40 minutes. We be
no
trying
way.
to cram so many ideas into that,
Yeah,
but
you
we
need
do our best.
At least an hour. At least.
I know. Do you think the saints got a bandwidth for that, though, to really, like, you know, to be a part of a service or a church where the preacher got the space to just, let me lay it out here?
I mean, we want to be like Paul. Just let me teach this out all night long.
Yeah, the
Sit
coach
there
ain't
and
like that, though, is it? The coach out here is like, give me 25 minutes real,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm ready to go get some bacon.
Yeah.
You get your bacon and still be in
Oh,
bondage.
since in the city, I want brunch. You gotta hurry up.
Yeah. Yeah. But thank the Lord, man. We growing some mature people out here, man. I'm excited about this episode, though, bro.
How was vacation?
Yeah.
I said, how was vacation?
Well, it wasn't long enough.
Never long enough. Never.
That's the first thing. It felt like we was down there and gone again, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, my children love the water, man.
Yeah.
And my wife done spoiled all of them, so they make it like a standard that we have to do this every year.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know if we can even try the mountains or nothing. It's like the beach is just where we're going. We just know automatically we're going to the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, it was good, though. It just wasn't long enough. They was trying to book an extra night when we got down there. But the Airbnb was already booked up, so we had to get up out of there. But it was good, though, man. You know, it was really good. Thank the Lord for that.
That's awesome. That's amazing, man. We want to appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. Thank you all. Our first episode had over 6,600 people viewed us for the first episode. So we want to say we appreciate everyone. Thank you for tuning in from the From Scratch podcast. And we're excited about tonight because we're going to jump right into tonight. Yep. We got some more hot topics that we're finna jump into.
For sure. I'm excited. But before we go, make sure y'all guys share tonight, stream, jump in the chat, tag somebody. All right. Also, if you don't have it already, you guys can go and follow us on Spotify. You can listen at the pod from last time on Spotify as well as on Apple. All right. So, and then subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can build the From Scratch community. Right. We're trying to build this organically. We're getting ready to do the From Scratch, Facebook page. So we need y'all to subscribe, man. Let's build the community. Let's stretch this thing out. Let's do what we got to do, man. Tonight, okay. Here we go. Y'all finna hear some real stuff tonight. I mean, you finna hear now what your pastor been wanting to say, but he ain't said. We gonna say it for him. So tag your pastor right now. Tag your preacher. Put him in the chat and tag your preacher. Let him know we finna say for him tonight all the stuff that he been wanting to say.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
We ain't gonna say it. We ain't scared either. We finna say it. Budgets, bondage,
and battles. Yeah. It battles. This From Scratch, y'all. We got to be 100% honest. I was honest last week about them chicken wings. We're going to be honest tonight. I mean, we're going to be raw, 100% raw. We're jumping in tonight. So.
Hey, bro, them chicken wings is historical. The people loved it. We got to keep it real with y'all, man.
We going to keep it real.
We got to keep it real for real. And I think that we got to have this conversation in the 21st century. We talk about everything. We talk about burnout. We talk about pastors taking sabbaticals. We talk about the mental health of leadership, and we talk about, the importance of marriage and make sure we protect ourselves from moral failures and all of that. But I think what we don't talk about enough is one of the major battles for senior leaders, and this is even whether you started a church or whether you took over one or whatever. It is dealing with the budget. Preachers quit all of the time.
Yeah.
Over this subject right here.
Oh, yeah.
Because that money. I don't know what's wrong with us. But I guess we just think that Jesus is supposed to be free, but he ain't. Yeah. He free, but gospel, ministry is
not. Man, yeah, gospel is free, but ministry is not. And it is a real reality, especially from our context. We started from the ground up. We had nothing. We didn't take over a church and not dismissing that route, but we started with nothing.
I had $0. How many dollars you have?
I emptied out my savings. Me and my wife, we emptied out our savings.
Y'all hear that? Emptied out your savings.
To buy a sound system. $2,000 sound system just to get started.
Yeah.
And we did that. We emptied out our savings, and we literally had nothing. That's the beauty of our story because it's from scratch.
From scratch.
Really God starting from nothing.
Yeah.
And allowing his miraculous power to create something profound and impactful to the world. Yeah. But it was nothing there. But what was your experience? What's your view on budget with the church?
Okay. Now let's start again. You had to empty your savings out.
Yeah.
Thank God you had a savings to empty out. Okay. I didn't have a savings. I didn't have a checking. You know what I'm saying? God called me when I'm talking about dead broke.
Yeah.
No money at all. Not a dime of money. I'm trying to figure out how we going to fund this. And this is the thing, bro. And we respect everybody's experience.
We do. Most definitely.
Thank God for everybody's experience.
Definitely.
But there are some people who have started churches from the ground up, but they had a denominational backing.
Yeah.
They had someone planting them. They had some type of strategy or system that was fundraising, like you raised $25,000, we'll match it. And they came out with money.
So true.
But there are some people like you and I who had to do this literally on a word. I ain't had nothing.
That's it.
Like nothing at all. And so our first service, the overhead was $1,000. And I've told the story before, my mama had to pay for it. Right? And then the Lord blessed us in that service that we raised $1,000 onto the T, which I was finna give back to her. She said, no, well, I'm just sowing that into the ministry. So I was able to take that $1,000 from that 3-day revival and start a checking account with it. Yeah. And then from there, again, we were doing services in our house. And I had to do that, even though I was begging God for a building because I was competing with people in my mind. Because there were people I felt like, they had buildings and chairs and and microphones, and I ain't have half of the anointing that I had. And I'm like, why am I stuck up in this house? And then these clowns got buildings. See, folks don't want to tell the truth. We telling them this is from scratch. I'm telling the truth. I'm like, how these clowns climbing? And then I am on the backside of the desert in the upper room of my house.
Yeah.
With 8 people trying to teach the Bible, and I was just discouraged. But God was helping me. I was learning how to manage the money. We did buy a sound system that we were making payments on, so that by the time we had a building, we would be ready. Yeah. But if I had known then what I knew now about the money, this is the thing: we were collecting money from the time we started services in my house, and this is how bad it was for me financially. So I'm saying the budget is big because you got the ministry budget, then you got your house budget.
Yeah.
I couldn't manage both of them. So the ministry was doing pretty good. The money was coming in. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But the house that we living in, right, I'm behind on the rent.
Oh,
This is the house I live in and the house we have in church in, and I'm behind on the rent.
wow.
Right. And so God blessed to where he was able to sustain me for the end of my time. My term on the rent of the house was the exact same time that we moved into a building at the same moment. Because if it wasn't for that, I'd have been behind.
Man,
I didn't know what I was doing at first.
man, that's powerful because it shows your level of faith to even do that.
Yeah, my faith and how insecure and immature I was too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
So that was my start. So let's hear about it, brother. Come on now. Give it to us raw.
I mean, we emptied our savings to get a sound system, and it was really a faith walk because I remember us using our own personal money to help cover the rent on the building that we used. And it was really a level of faith to believe God as he sent people, month by month. We were able to, develop and grow. But it was a lot to try to really see how we could develop and build economically when you're just starting off. And not having experience, not being a financial person, not being an accountant, you got to learn how to budget books. You got to learn how to figure out everything. And so it was a lot. It was overwhelming. It could have been very overwhelming for us, but with God's grace, we were able to get through it. Yeah. I think more so in the Mississippi Delta, it's a different context to me from anywhere else pastoring. And I know I'm not pushing away any other area. Sure. The Mississippi Delta is a unique place. Yeah. And being new leaders, me and my wife, being new leaders, there's several churches, not all the churches in the Delta area, where just doesn't have a good reputation with money. And so being new leaders, we want to be very careful that we didn't present something that we were after money or that we were starting churches for money, because a lot of people are not even called to pastor. They're just planning churches to have a source of income.
It's an entrepreneur adventure.
There you go. You don't even have a 9-to-5, but you're starting a church because you're looking to milk the church to have money to support your own way of living. But me and my wife, we were integral. We kept our own 9-to-5 to pay our own bills.
Yes, sir.
And then we served the church. And so we were very careful not to present like we were trying to use people. We were trying to gain financial gain. It was just one of those contexts we had to be careful about as we started the church.
Bro, this is how me and you, I know we friends for real. Our heart is almost the same. Yeah. I was so committed to making sure people didn't know that I didn't care nothing about this money from this church. I wouldn't take nothing when I needed to. Man. Now this was me trying to prove a point to myself and trying to prove it to the people. Like, I want to make sure that I am walking in humility, but I also, to an extent, was walking in ignorance. Wow. That when I needed help, I wouldn't even say nothing. My car has been repossessed while I was pastor because I wouldn't take money.
Tell the truth, man. Tell the truth.
I'm talking about the senior pastor, my car repossessed, pulling up in a car that the front of the bumper is bent in, and I couldn't afford to get it fixed. I didn't have no insurance because that insurance lapsed while I'm trying to take care of my wife and these 2 little babies I got. And I wouldn't take a dime just so people would know I'm not in this for no money. All of this that we raising, none of this is coming to my house.
I hope y'all hear this, because most people are presenting, all pastors want is your money. All pastors want your money. That's all they want.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, where the money is? Show me the money. I'm trying to figure out, where's the money? Do anybody know where the money? Do any of y'all on here know where the money is?
Please, sir.
Show me where the money is, because I still ain't seen none of it yet. Nah, man. I mean, to really have a heart for God, you are doing ministry, and you don't even want what some people who start ministry go into ministry for.
Yeah.
Like they go into ministry for the fame, for the following, for the popularity, for the likes, the comments, to be able to make a pose, and you got on a Gucci belt and some red bottoms, and
Oh,
it look like you got it going on. But most people who really have been called by God don't have a desire for any of that.
Yeah.
And we suffer the most.
Yeah.
I know I did.
Wow. It's
Suffered.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you just got into something because I read a statistic that not even half of most churches have faithful tithers.
They don't.
And so a lot of times the church get ridiculed because we're not doing enough in the community. People want us to provide money to help with Medicare. People want us to pay bills. People want us to pay utilities. People want us to pay car notes. People want us to go out in the community and build community centers and do recreational centers. And many of leaders, we have vision to really do these type of dynamic things in our communities. But most churches, if you really look at statistics, not even have faithfully tithe. But there's such a demand on the church to do so much work in the community. But how are we going to do that when we don't even have enough money to barely keep the lights on?
You understand me? You talking about trying to build a school for the community. We trying to keep the water running up in here.
That's the truth.
For real, man. Now, I don't think people really consider the weight of what it takes to do ministry.
Yeah.
So hey, this from scratch, right?
No, it's from scratch.
So we keeping it a buck.
We're going 100.
What do you think? What do you think that the average budget is for a church a month?
Man.
Because the people don't know. So we're gonna let the people. We're gonna tell y'all what y'all pastor won't tell y'all. Some of y'all got a humble pastor. He won't say nothing. Now there's some of these folks following these charlatans that's been going off on y'all because y'all ain't buy them no watch for their birthday. But then there are other preachers who are sincerely just trying to do ministry and really just wanting to depend on the people and believe God and not put stress on the people. But I think we gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
So what you think the average budget is?
I mean, it's really depending on the size we're talking about. But
Yeah.
I know from our context, you can easily look at, 15 plus easy a month to keep a church going. I'm starting at 15. That's a base number.
That's the base number.
But it can definitely go up for sure.
Okay, let's be clear. So everybody watching, we're not talking about 1,500.
Oh, no.
Okay,
No,
so
no.
let's make sure that y'all are aware. We're talking about 15,000.
That's it.
15,000. 15, comma, 00. $15,000 is like a base.
Yeah.
A month.
That's it.
Okay, a month. Now think about this. Your bills are $15,000, and that's all you see. Then you ain't got no savings.
That's it.
You ain't got us. If 15,000, if this is just regular math for people that your budget for your own household.
Yeah.
If you got $15,000 overhead, I need to be making. At the minimum 20.
You want at least 20.
Right, just to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So imagine a pastor's coming into the church having to preach every week, knowing that this is the overhead I got to reach.
Yeah.
So it's one thing that you see people getting saved. And people getting delivered, demons coming out, this one getting healed, that one got filled with the Holy Ghost. These 3 join the church. And then you get back in the office after service is over.
Yeah.
And you are $3,000 under budget for today.
It's the truth. It's a reality. It's a reality. It is. It's a reality. And it can be a lot because sometimes it stifles the anointing on the leader when he's stressed about money and trying to provide ministry for the people.
Brown, say it again, please. The people need to say it again.
It provides a great level of stress on the leader, on the pastor, when he has to worry about money, paying bills of the church. And a lot of times, I know you've been in that place. We would sacrifice our own dime to make sure the church has what it needs.
Yeah.
But it places a lot of stress on the leader, and it makes it hard to minister with the fullness of the anointing that God places on our life. So
what do you say to the pastor, right, that has to take from his house to make sure that God's house is supported? What do you say to that pastor that's been doing that for 3 years straight?
Man, my heart goes out to that pastor.
Come
Number
on.
1, it goes out to that pastor. Number 2, that pastor really has to move with a strong belief system. And vision has to be really so stapled in God for you to trust God that you really believe God on a level that I know I'm going to reap this in a level and in a way that goes beyond my expectation of what I can see. And so to give constantly to the church out of your own pocket, it takes having a faith walk with God that's not on a normal scale.
Yeah. It's one thing to sow your gift.
Yeah.
Like we doing that every week. You
Right.
know, you're sowing your gift. You, to a certain extent, you sowing your life.
That's it.
But when you have to take from your house, especially you got a wife and some children.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you know, even if you are a single pastor, but if you got a wife and some kids and you got to take what would be bread in their mouth to try to continue to feed the spiritual bread into the people's mouths.
Yeah.
Like the mindset that you have to be in to do that, I think.
And to do it with joy every week, to get up and preach every week with joy,
With joy.
with passion.
How difficult is that? The people need to know how difficult it is.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Now we talking about a church. We don't have, and this is something I was thinking about today. We're trying to survive off of the generosity of people.
Yeah.
Technically, the church don't have a product that we sell. Technically.
That's true.
Okay.
Technically.
Technically, there's no product that we
Technically,
sell
no.
that you're the consumer of. So you go to Walmart and you buy milk because you need milk. You
course.
go to Walmart and you buy, bread because you need bread.
Yeah.
You go to, Walmart and you get deodorant. I pray that you get deodorant. I'm praying that I don't know, but some of the saints don't wear deodorant. But anyway, I'm praying that you go and buy deodorant because you need deodorant.
I pray they do.
But when it comes to the house of God, you know that you need the word, but you don't sow into it. You know that you need the church because if it wasn't for the church, you would have lost your mind and went crazy. But then when your taxes hit, you don't give nothing.
Yeah.
Or when you get your paycheck,
Ooh.
you don't even take out 10%, let alone 15%, and you don't do nothing. I need this place, but I don't need it on the level that I would invest in it like I would do my natural needs of my hair and my clothes and my gas. Like we live on a needs basis, but we don't have the perspective that the church deserves the same level of investment financially, right? That if this is somewhere that you value, that you think is important, that it matters to you, then you should take from your household and just a piece of it and share it so that we can continue to do ministry at an excellent level. But I don't think that perspective is across the board in the house. Like a few people get that. It's almost like an 80-20 rule. That 20% of the people in the church is carrying the church.
Man, so true. I wholeheartedly agree. What's your view? I want of the culture context, because there's a different culture context as far as white evangelical churches and then the black churches. Let's just be real. I mean, we on from scratch.
I mean, we got to talk about
And
it.
let's talk about the difference between Caucasian majority churches and then our context. I mean, the difference as relates to this subject, budget and money.
See, now we out here now.
Yeah, we out here.
Now we out here now.
Let me go and just drop this.
Come on,
and I
man.
have no problem with paying musicians. Lord knows we take care of our musicians.
We
I
do
have
too.
no problem.
We do too.
But in our culture, because of the demand of music, most people won't come to church for the preaching in our context. They're coming for music.
There we go.
So that puts a greater demand that becomes automatically a big part of our budget to cover music, cover musicians. And again, don't ridicule me. I don't mind paying musicians.
Yeah.
But in the different culture of the white evangelical church, their musicians volunteer their time. I'm out here.
Yeah.
And they're able to say, I'll play for free just to help the church make sure they have extra money for the budget.
Everybody don't have that heart. Or their training.
That's it.
Or, watch this. Here's another thing. Now, we are very aware that as it pertains to the ethnic difference, that there may be an economic disadvantage that our people are at.
Oh, of course.
Versus the other,
Of course.
the other races, Caucasian. So in that sense, it may seem as if those musicians or those people may be financially stable in their personal life, but they can sacrifice their time. Their career is decent enough, or their job is paying them enough, but they can live off of not having to have the church's money to eat.
That's so true.
But it's another thing when the pastor needs the church money to live and the musicians do.
Yeah, so true.
You see what I'm saying? So we don't always, and the thing is, while the pastor might be bivocational, because we do have bivocational leadership, and they may be working a secular job and while pastoring, most musicians won't do that.
Yeah.
Most musicians don't want to be bivocational. They only want to just be a musician. They're a musician bivocationally at different churches,
Yeah.
but not bivocationally as it pertains to having a secular job while doing music ministry. So that is another dynamic that's different in our time,
so
because
true.
these guys are like, nah, I need to use my gift to take care of my family, and this is what I want to do.
Right.
And this is the way it go. And so we know our context
Yeah.
that, of course, it's difficult to build a church when there's no music, but you did it though.
I did.
Now, see, that's the
By
thing.
the grace of God, me and
Now,
my
see,
wife, we did.
let's hit that dynamic, because y'all did it. You see what I'm saying? I've had
Yeah.
music for the most part, since
You in
we had a
Memphis. You
building.
in Memphis.
Right. I'm in Memphis, so
We had no choice.
everybody got to have click track. But we
That's
did have
it.
a season where we ain't had no money to pay a musician. I had to let him go.
Yeah.
And I was preaching with hoop triggers.
Wow.
Look it up.
My God.
Look it up. We was doing worship with the
You were saying we gotta go with hoop triggers.
well, I hadn't got to my you gotta go level yet. I wasn't at that place yet. I wasn't saying it yet. I think I started saying that when I actually moved to Memphis.
Gotcha.
But I was doing this in Arkansas, and Pip, he was helping me. I don't know what it was. It was a certain app that you download, worship track or whatever. And we was singing with that. We had no musicians. I couldn't afford them no more. I had to let them go. The budget was over. It was stressed.
Oh wow.
I couldn't. If anybody has to go, it's you. Okay, I have to be here, but you have to go. It's over with now,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
So I had to do that. But the cultural difference, man, of course.
Yeah.
And just make sure I answer your question. That community, I think they believe in supporting,
Yeah.
and it's a mindset. I think we are
Man.
affected by this mindset. It's a poverty mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The economic disadvantages makes people feel like I just need to just take, receive, and we're not developed and discipled to give even when it hurts us.
So true.
Yeah, and I think that's what the difference is.
No, so true. I believe the teaching economic of how we've been taught in the culture of our culture, how we've taught about money. A lot of times money is not even a discussion in the household.
It ain't.
Versus other cultures, money is a topic of discussion. The parents are putting their children in better positions financially. They're not letting them get older and look, you find out on your own how to make it. No, they're already putting things in place, college funds. They're already putting businesses in place. They're already putting LLCs. They're already
Mutual-
putting
yeah.
real estate,
Yeah.
land. They have an advantage of the culture. So when they get older, they already have $50,000 in the bank.
There you go.
Versus when we get older, we're trying to find out on a nearest apartment, a job. We don't have nothing to start with. We don't have any credit started, anything. And since some people, their parents had to use their credit to get furniture in the house.
For sure.
And so it is a different dynamic, a different culture. This is why we have a conviction at Dominion City to not just teach people about the 10% or beyond the 10%, because we believe tithing goes above the 10%.
Yes, sir.
But to teach them about what are you doing with the other percentage of your money. Putting resources before them so you know how to budget, you know how to invest, you know how to start a business. You know, that dynamic, because I feel like that's the part of the church if you're going to help build the economic base of your ministry to advance a vision.
So even look at that. Even look at the fact that as a senior leader in our context, you have to teach that.
So true.
So that the people can come up to be able to help you manage the weight of ministry.
Yeah.
So it ain't even just faith, and you have to actually teach people how to manage their money so that their money could become available to become kingdom money. But it has to be taught. So the culture, we are trying to reverse generational poverty.
Yeah.
And it does start, as you said, with the home and those discussions being had in the home. Because if your grandfather didn't leave you no money, your daddy didn't leave you no money, and you trying to create wealth for your family, then of course your mindset is just grind, get. So you don't have a perspective to sow and to believe in those principles until it's taught to you, right? So we have all that pressure to try to preach the gospel and get folk delivered from demons and devils,
Of course.
and retrain their mind to believe that it is spiritual. Right, not cultish. Because come on, you know we're dealing with that.
Oh, yeah.
Where if you giving your oh my God, if you're giving your money to the church,
You're in a cult.
you're in a cult.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
cult. You know why you giving your. So we got to break this spirit that we fighting against, right? That'll let you pay $300 for a Beyonce ticket. But then, it's demonic, and
Man,
you deceived when
Come
you
on.
come to give $300 at your church.
Oh,
what is wrong with
you
us?
cuss when you ask for $300 at church. And I thank God. I do have an awesome group of people at Dominion City Church. But it took my wife and I. It took time to teach. It took time to teach proper doctrine. It took time to prove. I do think leaders, you have to build trust and credibility with your people.
For sure.
If they're going to trust you to give a large sum of money.
For sure.
And so I guess I can lead that into a question of how do pastors get their people on board to build or to sow into a vision? So I know you've had a couple of projects here at your church. I've had a building project that was, quite a bit of money that we had to really raise, a lot of money to get the building on board. And so what are some of the things you had to do? And what are some things we can tell other leaders and other pastors? How do you get your people on board to give? And I'm not against fundraising, but because we've done, even in our context, we've had garage sales. We've done at least 2 garage sales over the course of the 8 years that we've been in the ministry. But you have giving campaigns, but sometimes you have to build a large influence for giving campaigns to advance.
Sure.
But beyond that, how do we get our people on board to help sow into a vision? Because my philosophy, if God gives the leader a vision, then the provision is not, far off. It's in the house.
Okay.
Because when God asked Moses, Moses really asked the Lord, he said, how am I going to take over this promised land? He says, what's in your hand?
Yeah.
And then you have the widow and her sons when they're at home, and then the husband leaves debt. He dies, leaves debt.
Generational poverty.
And so then she goes to the prophet, and the prophet raises a question, what's in your house?
What's in your house?
Because your solution to what you need is in your house. He says, all I have is a jar of oil, and I have some vessels.
Yeah.
And so he says, okay, well, then that's all you need. He gives her the instruction,
Yeah.
and that begins to pay off the debt, and then they had more to live off on. So I believe it's either in your hand as a leader, it's in your house. If God gives you a vision,
That's so good,
the
bro.
provision is in that house.
The provision is in the house. That is so good,
So
bro.
what are you going to tell?
That's
What
so
are you
good.
going to tell? How can we encourage pastors? How can you get your people on board to give when it comes to those things?
Man, you just blessed them right then. So I know that if your pastor watching, man, that was a nugget for you. And tag your pastor right now. Tag or share this right now so that they can get this information. Number one, of course, the vision has to be put before the people.
Oh, man.
They got to see it. You cannot assume that because you said it, they got it.
Ooh, that's a heavy one there.
You got to
Man.
put that in front of. They got to see it over. It's almost like it has to be plastered on the wall. It need to be in
Come
every
on, man.
announcement. It need to be said over and over. You have to consistently remind them over and over and over again.
Yes.
No matter how tiring they may feel it to you, no matter how much they may weary your mind, you have to do it if you want the vision
How
to be.
often?
Every time you see these people.
There you go.
Okay, it has to be
Man.
put in front of them every single time.
Yeah.
And when people see a goal, they need to be able to see the progression towards that goal, as well as, this is the thing, and I've learned that this has worked with our ministry as well, complete open transparency when it comes to the money.
There you go.
So when we were trying to do the renovation for the building, right, I told the saints what we needed, right, and I was letting them know every time we had, all right, we currently got 22,000, this was what we got, and then they were seeing, right, the numbers increasing and then seeing the work happening at the same time. So I'm telling you what we have, and I'm showing you what I'm doing with what we have. So you see where your money is going. It's
There
not
you
like
go.
you are confused about
Man,
what's
that's-
happening.
that's-
And I'm
that's
letting you
key.
know, this costs this much. So we had, I'm talking about, you can ask them. TG, get in the comments and say if I'm lying. You can ask them. They was like, matter of fact, we had a season where everything was done. It was like the carpet was done and the paint and everything. They was like, Apostle, where the screen is? I said, oh, well, the screen is $20,000.
Yeah.
So we need 20,000. We ain't gonna get it till we get 20,000.
They don't understand this costs money. This dynamic level of ministry, it costs money.
So I said, we ain't gonna be able to get there till we cross this number. So
Yeah.
putting the vision in front of them and then being very transparent. With the money, you have to be extremely transparent. And
Man.
just tell them where you are. Like, just talk about it.
Yeah.
Even if you're not there, you talk in faith, though. You have to always be in faith. Because that lack of faith or that doubt, if it's picked up, it'll spread throughout the house.
So true.
You got to believe in the vision, and then you just keep it in front of the people.
You said something powerful. I was going to say that because, and not just the communication of vision, the presentation of vision. How do you present vision? And you said that. And so what we did, because on our this building project that we had, we completed the building project, the renovations.
Yeah.
But we raised our church collectively over $100,000 for that renovation project.
You know how big that is.
It's major.
You did that in your house, you and your wife and your membership.
Me and wife and the amazing people we have at Dominion City. And it was about, number one, the presentation of vision.
Yeah.
We will constantly put up every week. You just said every week we're talking about vision, but we're putting pictures up of drywall. We're putting pictures up of, you see that we just added these rooms. We just put up the plumbing. We just added an accepted tank that can cost $8,000 that has to go in the ground. We had to do all these different things. Ministry costs money. And so we put up every week pictures of the work we were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Showing the people that, hey, we're trustworthy. This is a safe place to sow your money.
I'm telling you.
And then building credibility is key because, like you said, a lot of leaders, I want money, or how many leaders that we know personally who had a building project and you raised $80,000 and it's been 8 years and people haven't even seen a building.
Or you raised the money and ran off with it.
Oh man,
This is from scratch. You raised the money and we ain't seen you since. And these people ain't got no answer about where their money went.
And you got a new Benz.
And you got a new car. You in a new city with a new house, a new business.
Man.
Come on down. What did you do with the money? Where the money at? Where is the money, Craig?
Oh.
Where the money? Right?
Man.
Playing with these folks. And that's why they don't trust us.
That's it.
That's why the real ones, we gotta fight with the culture because it's always gonna be publicized the folks that did wrong with the money. But nobody's talking about the fact that Apostle Johnathan Brown, Prophetess Ashley Brown in Dominion City raised over $100,000 for their building project, and they were integral the entire time. That ain't on the news.
Yeah, that's it. And
that ain't on social media. Even
about a month ago, we have what we do Super Seed Sunday. Whenever God leads, we have Super Seed Sunday. And we promoted Super Seed Sunday in the beginning of the year. We did it last month, and our church raised in one Sunday $53,000. One Sunday.
Type it in the chat right now.
We raised as a church
$53,000
in one Sunday.
In one Sunday.
In one Sunday.
In one Sunday. Some churches can't raise that in a year.
So true. That's so true.
Bro. It's a blessing.
That's so true. It's a blessing. It really is.
Yeah.
But I credit it to the favor of God. I credit it to the heart of the people that we serve, that they believe in the Lord and they believe in the vision enough to invest into the vision.
To invest in it.
And when people can see the vision doesn't just benefit the leader, but it benefits everyone collectively.
It benefits the whole community.
It benefits your children. It benefits your marriage. It benefits your family.
That's good, Apostle.
We're able to partner together to advance the kingdom. And so I really think that what God is doing in our house is really uncommon favor.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it, but it's definitely possible. But the people saw the credibility, the trust with the year before that. I said that we're going to be in a building. We're in a building.
For sure.
Now the goal is, okay, let's go ahead and pay this off completely. Let's get this done this year. And then there's a bigger building that we're looking to go. And people are like, okay, people love to connect with vision. People love to connect with a leader that's in tune to the voice of God.
I love this, bro. Now, this leading me to this next piece, right? Because we're talking about budgets, bondage, and battles, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I believe that what do we say to the pastor that feels like his budget is a bondage for him? That I can never grow past this point. I can't get past this point, and struggling to believe in what God has shown him when he look at the budget.
Let me say this, and I want to help many people that's watching and leaders who will watch this. God has taught me something. Sometimes we think we need so many people to do when it comes to budget and meeting deadlines for building projects. I've learned God will send one person. So I'm going to encourage that you pray for the one to come in. God
Come
will
on.
send. I'm a living witness.
Come on.
When there's a season where you're in a drought as a ministry, the budget is low, God will send one person to come into your church and will write one check.
One person, one check.
I'm a living witness. I'm not talking from what I heard. I mean, my wife prophet doesn't understand. She knows. She's here. She can testify to this. God will send one person who will write one check who will make up the next 6 months.
Man, God is somebody.
And so I want to encourage those of you, because we sometimes think, well, maybe I need more people. Maybe I need to pray. No. Go before the Lord and pray and really go in the courts of heaven and believe God to send the one.
The one.
And God will send one person who will write one check who will set your ministry up for the next 6 months or to a year.
That's so big, bro. That because of this, now this is what I gotta say this now. I gotta say this.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever dealt with that there were people who were in the ministry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who gave, let's just say gave good money.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But then the people who give good money think that they can have the pastor in bondage to them
Listen,
because of what they give.
We're not going to be able to
You
move
devil,
on.
come here tonight. Let's talk about you.
This from
You
scratch.
Jezebel. Because you
Come
give
on.
a certain amount of money that you get to have certain levels of authority. And
Come
you get
on,
to have a
Apostle.
certain opinion. And you get to, tell the pastor and the first lady what they should do because you a
Man.
big donor. You a big devil is what you is. You ain't no big donor. You a big devil. Come on, have you had to deal with that? I'm sorry.
yeah.
I got revved up a minute. Have you had to deal with that? I don't know. And maybe it's a pastor who has had to deal with that. And maybe there's a fear. It feels like bondage because in your mind you're like, if I offend this person, if I release this person, if I correct this person and
That's
they
so true.
lead a church,
That's it.
where's my budget finna go?
Where's the budget going to go? So
And
now
there's some pastors under that pressure right
you're
now.
challenged, do I contend for truth or do I compromise? And most leaders choose to compromise because I don't want her to stop giving those $1,000 checks.
Yeah.
So I would let her begin to run the ministry, take over the praise and worship team, spread gossip, spread lies. Oh man, it's crazy. And then I celebrate those who actually offer their services for free in the church. Because some of you are saying, well, I don't have $5,000, $10,000. I don't make $80,000 plus a year to be able to sow like that in the church. But you know how to decorate. You know how to how to cook. You know how to do all different kinds of things.
That's sewing.
You have a certain business that you do, but you're like, I can do this for free to help the church to save money.
That's helping the budget, man.
But most people who benefit from the church, you come get deliverance, you come get healing, you come get breaking, you get marriage counseling, but yet when you want to offer the church got to pay me full price.
Everybody want to get paid. Everybody want to get paid. I think the folks think that the church is just riddled with money. We just got it.
And I'm not saying that the church should use people. That's not what we're saying. But I'm saying if you have a skill, if you have a talent, and you're able to offer a service to your church, maybe you do graphics, outside the church, and your church needs graphics to do media. Why don't you offer your services to help do graphics to help the church save money?
The church save money because we paying for flyers.
We're paying for flyers.
Flyers are $85 a piece now.
It's off top.
$85 a piece for one.
Off top. You have a photography business. Why don't you help take pictures and to help support? You take videography classes. You take videos. Whatever you do.
Just do something to help the church save some money. Especially if you ain't got nothing to give right now. Come here and do something so we can save some money because we can save some money.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. But I think that dealing with that, I mean, I've been there before where, and I'm going to make it personal now because I'm talking about other leaders and what they deal with and what they've gone through. But personally, I have had moments where I have felt the joy of the Lord in the pulpit on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm talking about I've seen God, and I'm like, man, this is amazing. People getting saved and joining the church, and I'm just crying and thankful for what I'm seeing God do. And then I had to go in my office and get the numbers.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, now where's the Lord?
Oh, wow.
Okay, I seen you out there. Now I'm wondering, where are you in here?
Yeah.
Right?
Man.
And having to do that. I did that so many times. And there were times where And this is another thing, and I think our pastors need to hear this from senior leaders like us.
Yeah.
That you really, and God took me through that season to teach me how to not appropriate his favor with the numbers.
Oh man, it's so good, man.
Because it was almost like I didn't feel like God would be. This is me, and I've dealt with this as far as ministry
Man,
and
it's so good.
my insecurity with God. I've wrestled with this.
Yeah.
That it would always I would question if God was with me if people got saved, but the budget wouldn't meet. Then I would have Sundays where the budget would be exceeded for that week, and I felt like God was pleased with me. But God was trying to teach me, right, that my approval of you has nothing to do with these numbers.
Man, it's so good. And that's even not just with financial numbers, even with numbers in our church, because we all look for a certain number of growth and all of this. And sometimes we equate if God's pleased with us based upon how many people are sitting in the pews, how many people joined that Sunday, how many people got saved. What about that context as well?
That I think that would hit me even more than the money. I'm gonna be honest.
That's true. That's so true.
That I mean, to have to stand in a place and then you don't feel like it's growing, you don't feel like God's adding anybody. You preaching your heart out and it don't seem like nobody want to repent and change. That's difficult. And the thing is, we internalize it, and I think most leaders, especially those who are really like trying to grow in their walk with God, the first question you would ask is, Lord, is it me?
Yeah.
Lord, what can I do better? Lord, have I failed in any area? Is there anything in the court of heaven that's that's contending against me? Lord, reveal it. Is it me? Right? We start to internalize, and I know I have battled with that. That's what I'm saying. It's a battle, right? To have to look at this and to manage all of this. And I think that if you're a pastor, people they think they got problems, but today one problem. We got 25.
25, sometimes 50 problems.
And thinking about all of this in your mind, like I'm asking God every week, Lord, send a soul. Yeah. I'm talking about I am in prayer about this, Lord, save somebody. Let somebody get delivered. Yeah. And so if it's a Sunday where nobody gets saved, I think about that.
Man, it's a long ride back home. It's a long ride back home. You up at night just looking at the city like, what happened?
Did I please you? Like, what happened today, right? No. Or, you ride back home and I got all of this coming up this week and this has to be handled and this has to be handled and this has to be handled. And you're like, okay, I'm trusting God again. Like you said, he'll send one. But what do you do in the meantime while you're waiting for him to send one?
Man. It's powerful. That's a deep question. What do you do? That's a deep question.
What do you do while you waiting on him?
It's a deep question. I think that it's a soul check because we can easily be cliche. You just wait in faith. You do this and do that. But, it's truly about a commitment to the Lord because you live in your validation through Jesus. And not just necessarily through his church.
Man, that is so good.
And so if our validation is from Christ and not his church, we're able to commit and serve the church without automatically seeing a reward and being satisfied by the reward and not just the well done of our Savior.
Bro, that is, y'all, we need to pause for a moment right now. And we need to have a minute so that we can lift our hands and worship because somebody is getting free. Our validation does not need to be in his church. It needs to be in him.
That's it. I had to learn that. Don't get me wrong now. If my first started leadership, I did not learn that.
Me neither.
I thought my worth was tied to how many people in the pews, how many people gave. So I had to learn that my worth is in him and not the church.
Yeah. I even used to believe that my worth was tied to, the people that stayed, the people that were coming, the caliber of the people who were leaving.
That's another dynamic. Ooh.
All of the battle of that was just on me every week. Trying to find out who I was as a husband. So I'm trying to discover that, trying to discover who I am as a father, discovering who I am as a pastor and a leader. And then, You know, you looking at my house budget at one point, it struggled, and then the church budget would struggle, and then the church would go up, and then my house would stay the same, and then my house would go up, and then the church would struggle, and then both would be going up at the same time. And I'm like, this is a wonderful season, and then things are always changing. There's always so many dynamics. And so it became difficult to not think that this was because of me.
Man, so
Right.
good.
And then I find out that God was trying to use this to form me, right, and have my identity in Him. And I think I finally, man, because I had a lot of religion I had to get free from. So I think I finally was able to break through that glass ceiling the top of the year when we were fasting.
Wow.
Because it was like, this was the first time in my life where I felt like I didn't have to preach and I didn't have to pastor in order for me to have joy in who I was in God. And so,
Man, that's so powerful.
and I was able to disconnect from that to the point that it was like, all right, you know, I'm your son. I'm going to be your son no matter what happens with this. This is on you. This is your stuff.
Man,
Right?
that's so good.
And that's the thing. I think that pastors, you have to be able to do this with your relationship with Holy Spirit and with your Father. Tell him, man, this is your church. I can't die taking care of your church. You die for your church. I'll die for you. I'm not going to die for your church.
Man,
So
that's so
you're going to have to do this. This is on you. So this budget is yours.
Man.
These people are yours.
Yeah.
This bill, everything. This is your stuff. So whatever happens with it, it's on you. And if you send me out here to do something, right, and then you don't come through on your word, then shame on you. But he'll never do it. He'll always do what he promised.
Yeah, man. I don't think I'm not gonna leave with this. I don't think people even know just what we go through as leaders. I will just remember the story of the building project when we had to build. Never been a part of building project because they don't understand as leaders. There's so many roles that come with this. We're called. There's such a demand on pastors because we have to pastor. We have to be give advice as far as judicial advice. We have to be lawyers. We have to be therapists and counselors.
Yeah.
We have to be so many things. And I don't think people even realize what we go through,
Y'all, the battles, bro.
the battles. I don't think they realize it.
What we had to go through.
Yeah.
How can you be all of those things? The only way that any person
Man.
can successfully be all of those things is to be in Christ, because he's the only one who can be
So
all
true.
of those things and not be stressed.
So true.
Like,
so good.
what we have to become to get people free, what we have to become for Christ to be formed in people,
Yeah.
is immeasurable.
Yeah.
Is immeasurable. And I think
agree.
that this can help the saints, the people that follow their leader, to know, right, about how you can create an environment that keeps your leader alive longer.
Ooh, man, you working, man.
Create an
Working.
environment that keeps your leader's mental capacity sane,
Man.
right?
Yeah.
Because you wonder why these people quit, walk away. I'm talking about 3,000 pastors are quitting every year.
So true.
So these people are quitting. People are committing suicide. People are cheating.
Yeah.
Pastors are drinking.
Yeah.
Pastors are smoking,
Yeah.
right?
So true.
Beating on their wives,
Yeah.
sleeping with their armor bearers, right? And it's not just the sin nature. What if a part of it is that the pressure of ministry triggers the nature that's untamed,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
And creates the opportunity for temptation, and then men fall.
Wow.
It's pressure, man.
That's a mouthful right there. That's
It's a battle, bro.
That's a
Even, and this is the thing, and I know we
Yeah.
talked about this earlier today. This is the thing. And I was saying to you how it's like the enemy will set you up to make you fall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is why you can't even have validation in God's church, because the church can be growing and God not be pleased with you.
Yeah. My God, it's so powerful, man.
So the budget can be busting. Like you
Wow.
got it, y'all got millions.
Yeah.
And God is like, yep, I took my hand off of you. And the devil
Man.
just letting you rise so that you can fall.
Yeah. I agree because the gift works without repentance.
Come on.
So some leaders think because the gift is in operation that God is pleased.
Please. No.
Not.
And we talked about, and we were very sympathetic, I believe, even with, Dr. Evans last week, this
Yeah.
episode.
Of course.
But now, since the last episode,
oh man.
another
look,
situation,
Look, man.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, we're talking about mega ministry, millions of dollars, and then this is what the staple now that is being attached to what has been seemingly a successful ministry. And that's why your identity, because now, and this is the truth, Pastor Morrison now gonna need Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Because the church ain't gonna stand with him like they did.
No.
They should try to support him as best we can, try to pray for him. But now you have to have your identity in God.
So true.
Because what happens if the church is your place of validation and that's taken from you, who do you become then?
Man.
That's a battle.
So that's man, you just said a mouthful. It's so powerful. The reality of it.
Yeah.
You know, that you have to be so wired and so planted in Jesus. Because at the end of the day, if people leave you, it's going to be Jesus who's going to be able to hold you up and your family.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about our children and our wives, they love us for us.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough people sometimes as leaders who love us for
Just
us.
for us,
They don't- Some people just love us for what we can do for them.
Right. That's a battle.
Or the gift, but the person, many don't understand.
That's a battle, bro.
No.
When people love you for but they did Jesus like that.
Yeah.
He said, you only here for the fish and loaves.
Yeah. So
Right.
true.
And then he had to stretch that fish and stretch them loaves. That fish and loaf wasn't even in abundance. He had to stretch it. He had to make a miracle with 2 fish and 5. Even Jesus had to deal with a low budget. Y'all don't want to have no church up in here. He had to deal with a low budget. Even Jesus had to deal with it. It's a real thing, man. And I mean, pastors are dealing with this weekly. And it seemed too like the people who have the heart to give, those are sometimes the ones who struggle to maintain money. And then the enemy will hit your givers.
Man, so true. Yeah.
Okay, this is a real battle.
Yeah.
The enemy will try to hit your givers
Yeah.
and attack them financially, right? Especially when they have a heart to do it. He'll try to hit them, right?
Man.
And then there are people that'll be ascending and doing well, and they don't have a heart to give to the kingdom of God at all.
So true.
And it can be devastating in the mind of a leader. So you got to pray for your pastor, pray for the budget.
Most
You know what I'm saying? Give a few dollars if you got some.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because it's real, man. It's real out here.
Yeah.
But I believe these conversations, I think, will help create environments where pastors will survive and thrive and stay longer and live longer. And their mental and emotional lives will be more healthy.
Yeah.
If we know that being a part of this ministry is not just me coming to dance, right?
That's it.
I'm here to help hold my leader's vision up.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I encourage those of you, you're a part of local church, support your leader, support your pastor, come to church, receive at church, actually live out what's being taught, give, support, serve, be a part of the culture of unity. Don't be a part of a culture of division. These are just small ways that you can really not just tell your pastor you appreciate them, but you can show your pastor that you appreciate them.
Yeah.
So listen, episode 2, look, that's it for tonight. We appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. It was really a thought-provoking conversation.
For sure.
Really powerful. I appreciate you coming on board, us being able to plow together on a topic that is real, that is upholding the church.
Man, we thank God for the chance to do it. This is a blessing. Even what we're doing right now, this is a blessing for us to be able to do it. And so we're excited about it. Thank God for all of our followers. We love y'all.
We love
man,
y'all,
make sure that you go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Even share this tonight. Tag somebody. Let them know that this is a conversation that they need. Tag your pastor, your leader, your spiritual father, spiritual mother. Let them know to jump in on this conversation. Tag some of your tribe members, your church members. Say, y'all need to come and listen at these preachers. They done told us something that ain't no other body ever been able to say. They done kept it real with us about this money, all right? And we just want to make sure that we pouring love on the body of Christ. But we're looking forward. Episode 3 is going to be dope.
Episode 3 is coming July the 10th.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it because guess who's coming? For the first time, we're making history. For the first time in the From Scratch podcast existence, we're going to have our first time guest, the first guest that ever come up on the podcast. And so it's going to be dope and powerful. Yeah. Who's coming on the next episode?
Who's coming? They know who's coming. They know who's coming. Them prophetesses is coming. The prophetesses
The prophetesses are coming.
They coming. We so excited. And it's going to be a live show.
Live.
It's going to be a live show right here in the city of Memphis. And so
Listen.
it's going to be registration there for you guys to sign up and register to come. It's going to be limited seating, but it's going to be an amazing show. They're going to get to hear from our ribs.
Oh, man.
And they got something to say.
They got something to say. We talking everything from marriage to pastors' wives. We're talking culture. Look, it's going to be bananas. Make sure you tune in for episode 3 with the prophets. They're going to be on with us here at From Scratch.
It's going to be great. I can't wait. I wish it was July 10th right now.
Yeah, and just get ready. We'll post that link. Soon we post the link. Make sure you jump on and reserve your seat for the live audience, a live reviewing podcast. Make sure you reserve your seat because there's limited seats, and once they're full, that's it.
Yeah, but always you can jump on and watch us live as well as go back and watch the replay. So go follow us right now. Subscribe on YouTube. And then make sure you go and follow on Spotify and on Apple, man. We love y'all.
Love y'all.
We'll see y'all in the next episode.
See y'all.
Peace.
See ya.